個 passage 睇一睇啦。The Great Plague of London, often known as the Black Death, occurred between 1665 and 1666。呢一個係乜嘢咧？中文咧就係講呢個係黑死病啦，就係呢一個。其實呢一個咧plague 呢個係其實係瘟疫啦，係當時係一個鼠疫啊。OK， 咁即係根本係冇得醫嘅嗰陣時係。咁呢個係幾時咧？係差唔多成300幾400年前㗎啦。咁而 during this period, approximately 100,000 Londoners were infected and killed by an epidemic of a disease called bubonic plague。呢一度咧就係講話咧係差唔多成10萬人死咗啦，而當時人口其實都唔係好多。咁而乜嘢係叫做 epidemic 咧？咧就係解一個傳染病啦 ，of infectious disease，OK， 一個傳染病嘅意思。15% of the population of London died. Can you imagine what it would be like if more than 1 in 10 of your friends were to die of the same illness？ 咁即係話咧，10個裏邊有一個咧就死，即係超過10個裏邊有一個就死咗啦。咁就佢即係叫你幻想下，你會唔會即係如果你10個裏邊有一個嘅朋友就已經係即係會係因為一個病而死，而係一個即係死好多人嘅病咁嘅意思啦。This is an interview with a boy called Harry Turner, a 15-year-old boy who lived in London in 1665。接住我哋睇一睇啦，佢問你 ，Would you say that the plague of 1665 to 1666 was serious? What evidence is there in the text to support this? Evidence 即係有啲咩證據證明啦，係當時係好嚴重咧呢一個嘅呢個病。咁我哋睇翻咧就係話咧，最主要咧佢係好嚴重，就係嗰個咧係話approximately 100,000 Londoners were infected and killed by the disease。仲有咧係15% of the population of London died。就係因為咁樣咧，你就知道嗰個病咧係好嚴重。咁你會睇翻啦，你會寫翻咧 ，Would you say 呢個你會 yes， 咁你就會寫翻 I would say that the plague was serious， 即係當時咧係好嚴重啦。咁樣咧就係 because 點解咧？就係因為咧就係100,000 people died。就係寫翻咧就係 around 15% of the population， 即係大約咧係人口嘅裏邊嘅即係1成半咧都係因為呢個病而死，咁所以當然係好嚴重啦。咁接住睇翻 happened 啦 ，happened 係第一段係咩字咧 ？happened 咧就會係 occurred。所以呢一個咧就係一個 happened 嘅同義詞啦。咁另外咧仲有啲咩字咧？就係佢問你 infection 係邊個字啦？就係 epidemic。infection 咧係解即係會感染啦，而呢一個咧就係亦都係一個傳染病嘅意思。咁所以咧頭先我都俾你睇過一個傳染病嘅意思啦。咁所以亦都係等於 infection。另外第3個咧 sickness 咧就係 illness 啦 ，illness 就係嗰個嘅sickness 嘅同義詞啦。接住啦 brothers and sisters 咧，你會見到咧就會係佢雖然都有 brothers and sisters 啦，但係咧佢有講過 my favourite siblings 啦，就係嗰個嘅同義詞就係兄弟姊妹啊。咁所以呢一個咧就係等同 brothers and sisters。然後接住咧就到佢要你第3段揾一個字係 illness 啦 ，illness 咧就係sickness 啦，就喺呢一度啦。咁 sickness 咧就可以等於係喺第3段係代表 illness 嘅意思。咁所以就會睇翻個答案咧，就係答案咧就會喺呢一度啦，就係呢5個字啦。好啦，到第3題啦。Who is the we that is referred to in paragraph 2？ 咁究竟嗰個第2段裏邊，究竟嗰個 we 係指邊個咧？我哋睇一睇。咁佢就話咧，以下呢個古仔就係關於呢個叫 Harry Turner 嘅男仔啦。咁佢就話 I 當然就係指翻呢個 Harry Turner 啦。I was born in London in 1650 to a family of shoemakers。即係佢個家人咧，佢父母係一啲即係做鞋嘅師傅啦。 We were a big family of 7 brothers and sisters, and I was the oldest. 咁即係話佢仲有6個兄弟姊妹咯，即係一家人裏面有7個兄弟姊妹，而佢係最大。My favourite sibling was my youngest sister, Elsie. She was 10 years younger than me and was the kindest, most beautiful little girl in the world. 咁佢話佢好中意佢個妹 Elsie。咁點解咧？就係話佢係原因點解咧？佢有話過佢係 kindest, most beautiful little girl in the world. She was always looking after all of us and making up stories to tell us in the evenings. 咁點解佢好中意佢咧？就係話佢會照顧佢哋啦，亦都有 make up stories. We were a happy family. We always had enough to eat, and every week Father gave us a treat of a penny to spend on anything that we wanted. 咁即係話咧，當時咧佢哋啦，呢個 we 係指乜嘢咧？我哋呢家人咧係即係其實有足夠嘅嘢食啦，而佢阿爸咧每個星期都會俾一個便士，即係等於好似毫子咁樣啊，就會俾佢哋去買嘢，即係買佢哋中意買嘅嘢。咁我哋睇翻條題目啦，第3題啦 ，Who is we 咧 ？We 就係當然啦，因為呢個古仔咧係以邊個人去講咧？就係 Harry Turner。咁 we 就係指 Harry Turner and 乜嘢啊？and his family。睇翻啦，呢一個 we refers to Harry Turner and his family， 即係同埋佢成家人咧都係有即係佢 we 就係指我們就一定包括埋 Harry Turner。咁 why is Elsie Harry's favourite sister？ 點解佢係佢最中意個妹咧？咁之前都有講過㗎，就係話佢啦，就係話 she is the kindest and most beautiful little girl in the world, and she looks after them and makes up stories to tell them in the evening。 咁其實主要咧就講咗呢3樣嘢啦。咁你會見到咧就會係應該係this was because she was 係啦 she was the kindest and the most beautiful。仲有咧佢點樣咧 ？She always looked after them and made up stories for them。即係最主要咧，就係會係乜嘢咧？話佢好即係比較仁慈嘅一個妹啦，同埋靚啦，同埋話佢會照顧佢哋啦，甚至會作一啲故仔俾佢哋俾佢哋聽咁嘅意思，所以佢就會話咗佢啦係佢個 favourite sister。到第3段啦，佢話 When the Black Death came to London, everything changed. Many people left London, and I was no longer allowed to play with my friends in the street.Because of the danger of infection， 即係話咧點解當時就呢個黑死病嚟到倫敦嗰陣時咧，好多嘢都變化，即係令佢哋生活改變啦。第一就啲人離開倫敦啦，第二樣嘢咧就唔可以出去同朋友玩，因為驚會傳染。咁跟住條題目問你 ，Why do you think that so many people chose to leave London in 1656？ 點解當年咧要選擇離開倫敦咧？咁你會寫翻咧就係this is because。點解咧？啲人怕傳染咯。睇翻前邊嗰度，發覺佢冇正式講㗎，因為咧又會講過話啲人係驚咯，即係驚呢個 the danger of infection， 即係話驚會俾人傳染。咁所以即係佢又要離開倫敦啦。如果可以離開嘅話，有啲人就唔俾啲仔女出街玩啦，就係因為驚會傳染。寫翻 this is because they were afraid of catching the plague， 即係話咧佢會驚會去被感染啦。咁如果假如感染咗就會死啊嘛，咁所以就會係選擇離開倫敦。第6題啦 ，What are the symptoms of the plague？ 即係究竟有啲咩症狀咧？即係如果感染咗嘅人有啲乜嘢嘅症狀咧？我哋睇翻。 We had to stay inside all day long while father went out to work。咁就唯一出得離開即係間屋嘅咧，就係佢阿爸。Life was very boring, but at least we were all healthy. That is until one day when my father came back from his shop and fainted， 即係佢阿爸就暈咗啦。He landed on the stone floor with a thump, and we all screamed。即係嘣一聲跌咗落地下，跟住就咁大家見到就好驚啦。I carried him upstairs to his bed, and a fever began to take hold of him。即係佢咧就即係佢開始發燒啊 fever 係。He complained of cramp in his muscles。點樣咧？就佢啲 muscle 即係啲肌肉咧，覺得好似好咩叫 cramp 啦？睇一睇 cramp 咧就係好似咧係會痙攣，即係會好即係會抽筋咁嘅意思啦。咁見到啲症狀之後咧，就點樣咧 ？He had caught the plague and there was no medicine that could cure him。即係佢阿爸就染咗個病係冇得醫㗎啦。3 days later he died. We were quarantined in our house by the authorities。authorities 咧有關當局啊，即係嗰啲部門咁嘅意思啊。即係等於 department， 即係話可能當時嘅衛生部咧就因為佢阿爸死於呢個 Black Death 啦，即係呢一個嘅鼠疫啦，咁所以咧佢哋要 quarantine。咩叫 quarantine 咧？即係要隔離檢疫啦，即係要將佢哋隔離啊，因為咧就會驚佢哋啲仔女啊或者佢屋企人都會即係感染，所以咧就避免佢哋出去，咁咪叫 quarantine 啦。We were quarantined in a house by the authorities who painted a red cross on our door。即係喺門口度 mark 住個紅色嘅交叉，即係代表咗呢一家人咧係感染過呢個病，咁個個都好驚。None of us were allowed to leave and no one was allowed to visit。The sickness spread to 4 of my other brothers and sisters. All of them died, including little Elsie。咁即係佢個家人裏邊咧，就4個人都死晒。咁所以咧，即係4個人再加埋佢阿爸都死埋，即係死咗5個人。好啦，呢一度你會睇翻條題目啦。Were the family quarantined？ 點解個家人咧要受到隔離咧？就會寫翻咧 ，This was because the authorities當時係想點樣咧？They did not want them to spread the disease。就係點解佢哋要被隔離咧？就係因為唔想佢哋去傳染呢一個，即係將呢個病傳播出去啦。好啦，接住啦，第8題啦。Why is Harry not sure that he was not lucky to survive？ 即係嗱，佢係一個冇死嗰個，所以後尾佢寫咗呢篇嘢啦。但係佢點解覺得自己係好好彩，即係唔係好好彩咧？即係佢都唔係太肯定係咪自己係叫做好彩？點解咧？Many people say that I was lucky to survive, but I'm not so sure. I often feel very lonely and cry about the terrible things that happened。 嗱，佢話係 not so sure， 就係因為點解咧？最主要就係因為佢啲家人，即係4個兄弟姊妹啦，同埋佢阿爸都死咗啦，咁所以佢就話 I'm not so sure 啦。咁所以睇睇，佢就話咧，佢覺得好 lonely 啦。佢仲有講過 I try to hope for the future, but it is difficult without the ones that you love。咁所以佢係唔 sure， 就係因為咧，life is difficult without the ones you love， 就係話生活真係好艱難，因為佢嗰個屋企人都大部分都已經過身。好啦，條題目問你 why was Harry not sure that he was lucky to survive？ 咁你會寫翻咧就係 This was because 點解咧？佢有講過啦，就係 because most of his family died。仲有咧，大部分家人死啦，跟住仲有佢有講過話 he felt lonely. He felt lonely. Although he survived。就係佢覺得咧，就算佢生存啦，佢係生存嗰個啦，但係咧佢係非常之寂寞，所以佢都唔係太肯定係咪一件好幸運嘅嘢啦。